And here we are, December 2nd, another office hour for Draftbit. Let me move my windows a little bit so I can see you properly. All right, I got some Draftbit right today. Hope you enjoyed that. It's good, particularly when you need a haircut. Um, who do we have today? A few people are joining. I guess we have some people that keep coming up every week, which is awesome. So little recurring meetings that we have going on. I see John, I see Carl and Steve and Dave and Danielle. Danielle, I apologize if I'm not remembering if we already talked, but if we haven't, welcome. Welcome to Draftbit Office Hours. For those who are not aware, Steve says, I need that hat. Yeah, we should, I think we have a few. We should do some kind of like little program to give away swag. That would be nice. Is it swag? How do you pronounce it? Swag? You know what I mean. T-shirt and hat and mouse pad. Other people don't use mouse pad anymore. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, 2 office hours every week. Daniel says, I'm new here. I started yesterday with Draftbit. Awesome. This is the right thing to do. You come to the office hour. That way you can see what we're all about. You can ask questions. Yeah, Carl, that's a good idea. Community member of the month. Oh, we did that for a couple of months in a row. I think we've kind of dropped the ball on that. We kind of stopped doing it. We should bring it back. And we could do a little swag. That's an interesting idea. I'll bring that up to the team. Could be fun, having fun with our community, which is a good segue. For people who don't know, we have community.draftbit.com. Highly recommend you go there if you have any question outside of this office hour. Ask your question. We have a very vibrant community now, particularly thanks to Carl, Steve, John, Dave, and a few more I'm forgetting who are answering other users' question. So it's really helping us and helping the community. So we truly, truly appreciate that. All right, 2 office hours, one Tuesday, one Thursday. This is the Thursday one, obviously. And what we do is we answer questions. So you still ask a question button below, click on it, ask your question. I'll take them in order. Once we are done with those questions, we go to that community.draftbit.com website I was talking about. There's an ask for help section, and we go through that list and try to help as many people as we can. Okay. So should we just get started? Yeah, let's just get started. I'm gonna set up my laptop, my Windows, so I can show my screen and all if needed. Okay. First question. How would I create a menu with stacked navigation under it? For example, a menu has group section, chat section, link to Notion example. Okay, that's Carl asking. Let me look at the link. Oh yeah, let me share my screen so everybody can see that, because you put some effort into making that page. That's awesome. All right, sharing my screen, share screen. I'm gonna share window. I'm gonna share this one. All right, I'm assuming you can see my screen now. Let me know otherwise. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger. Ooh, big. That should be fine. Okay. Dude, man, you made a Notion page for the office hour. Look at the professionalism of Carl. That's awesome. Okay, navigation. How do I create a master menu? Screen that links to other navigation stacks. I'm trying to understand bottom knife. Wait, let me reread. I'm sorry, I'm a little slow this morning. I'm still powering through coffee number 2, I guess. Let me read the question. How would I create a menu with stack navigation? Menu as group. Basically, I'm trying to find a hack around having a slide out drawer. Stack menu as group section, chat section. So you're not talking about tab navigation. You want stack navigation. Create menu stack navigation underneath it. Okay, so Carl, because you're here, I'm going to ask you questions directly. Let me I have a menu option in the main tab. So there is a tab, bottom tab, there is navigation. Bottom, okay. Create master menu. So you want to have a screen with a bunch of links that goes to other Stack Navigator? So none of it, just to help me understand, none of it has to do with bottom tab navigator. Is that correct? It's just you have a main, correct. Okay, so you have a main screen and you want to go to different stack, different stack navigator. Okay. Well, let's get going. One thing we like to do during the office hours is to do it live, like not just talk about it, but build it. Gonna call it, how did you call it? Master menu. Okay, and I'll see. We'll kind of like understand as we go, hopefully. So I'm gonna create a few screen. I'm gonna do a foo, and I double click on this thing. Sorry, and a Baz screen. Okay, so a 3 screen. I'm gonna just put a tiny bit of text in it so we know what it is. Foo. Bar and Baz. Danielle, because it's your first time, by the way, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Danielle. I'm going a little fast maybe, but feel free to interrupt if you have any question. Okay, so let me try to give you a shortcut. I see you offering share screen. I'll try to take a shot at it, and if I'm not addressing the right issue, then we can share the screen. Okay, go on speed. Thank you. Okay, so we have got 3 screens. They're all in my root navigator. I'm going to create 2 stack navigator. I'm going to call this one, right here. And this one, the foo navigator. And this one is going to be the bar navigator. Okay. I'm going to put the foo in the foo, the bar in the bar. Now I can set that initial route to foo and this one to bar. Okay. As you see, when you put like Stack Navigator inside Stack Navigator, you're starting to have all those headers, which I personally don't love from a design point of view. So what I tend to do is remove them in header mode here. But for the purpose of this office hour, I'm going to keep them because they're actually pretty good at helping you understand where you are, right? Because it's going to be the label of the navigator as well as the label of the screen. All right. Ooh, that commuter coffee recommendation from Nick is pretty good. Okay. So now Baz is essentially going to be my master menu. So I'm going to go back to my design, and in Baz, I'm going to say, I'm going to put a couple of, I'm going to do it with buttons, but you can do it with link. You add it with links, I think. What was it? Yeah, something like that in your example. But so this one is going to go to foo, and this one is going to go to bar. Okay, so while I'm thinking about it, one thing I'm going to do is I'm at my very top route navigator, I'm going to set the initial route to go to the Baz, which is my master menu, right? So while I think about it, I'm doing it. Okay, so now I've got those buttons. I'm going to name them properly. Here we go, foo bar, okay. And they're gonna take me to, I might be able to show something new too. Let's see. So yeah, let's see what shows up. So I want to go to the foo navigator, right? Yeah. And for the Baz, I want to go to the Baz navigator. Sorry, the bar navigator. Here we go. So, and because those navigator have an initial route set. I'm going to double check that I did that, but I think I did. Yeah, they have the initial route. So when I go to that navigator, it should show that screen. Okay, so let's see what happened then. So this is my master menu, my base screen. I can go to foo. It goes to foo, which is it's a foo screen in my foo navigator. Again, those headers are a little silly from a design point of view, but you remove them and do your own. Hopefully, at least it helps you understand where you are in the stack. And so if I go back now, I go to my bar, and here's my bar. Okay. I guess that's it. Carl, did that answer your question? Is that what we were trying to do? I see a okay emoji, but I guess not. Okay. So tell me, if that's the case, let me bring you up on stage if you're okay with that, and you can tell us a little bit about it. Here, I invited you on the screen. Oh, was the yes definitely that it's what you were trying to do, or that definitely accepting to go on stage? Hey,
Hey,
Hugo, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for
Can
having me,
everybody
George.
see you? I think everybody can see you. Yeah, that should be. So, did I answer your question? If not, what were you trying to do?
Not exactly. So I thought that would work fine. What I have is, I'll try to explain this. So I have like a menu. So like in the menu example in the Notion document, I've got notifications, which I'm trying to send take me anywhere, but it's not. I can't actually. The navigation isn't working for that button. Is what's happening. So
Wait,
right now I've got.
say that one more time. You had so that notification link.
Yep. So
where do
I
you want
have that navigate to. I'll try going anywhere. So if you scroll down in that page, I can try. I can send it. Yeah. I'll try to send it to group profile.
Group profile. Where is group profile? Okay.
So, and I just have it. There's a parameter in there, so I'll just put 1 for it.
Okay.
When I try to do that, the link doesn't work. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays on this menu.
Stays on this menu.
And I can try that with any screen pretty much.
Do I have a permission to look at your app directly in the live stream? You okay with that? I can search for it, but could you ping it to me? That might be faster, if that's okay.
Yep. Should I just do it in the chat here?
If you're comfortable with that, otherwise just putting in Slack with me.
Oh, I can do Slack, yeah.
Regardless of what you prefer. So depending on what you prefer. Forget this. Here we go. Okay. Let me try to bring that up so everybody can see. Okay. So that's the menu. Let me try. So I'm on the menu screen, which just for my context is at the root navigator level. So at the very highest level, I got my menu. Okay, and then I got a touchable that goes to group profile screen.
And that can go anywhere for this. It just isn't working for any link.
And the group profile screen is, where did I find it? Right here. Oh, it's interesting. So it's in a navigator. It's like two.
Yeah.
So let's see first if I can go to something simple like configure profile. Yeah, let's see. So first of all, let me try. And also, I'm going to time box that for probably like 5-ish minutes because I do want to make sure we cover a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So this one doesn't do anything, right? Let me quickly look at the console log, see if I can see anything that's obvious. No errors. That's a pretty good sign. Okay. Just to confirm, and look at the code. See that it's there should be where's my touchable? Right here. So the touchable and navigate to group profile screen with the group ID 1. Okay, that seems all right. Seems pretty good. And group profile, just before I try something else, it has a navigation parameter group underscore ID. Okay, that's good. Okay, it was group underscore. So I'm just checking a bunch of stuff. Navigation group underscore ID. Okay, so that seems all correct. So I don't know why that's not working. Let's try with something, different link. Use my touchable. I'm going to try go to, what's the one I called that was at the very bottom as well? Configure profile. I forgot, what was it? Yeah, configure profile is at the very bottom. Geez, I can't read. Configure profile. Here it is. All right, so it works here when it's just on the same level. Okay, now let's try to go one step further than that and go to, for example, the welcome screen, right? As well. So this one, I'm going to take it to the welcome screen. I'm trying to essentially identify if, all right, we don't have the welcome screen because it's in a navigator, which is auth navigator, and auth navigator has an initial route to the welcome screen. So I'm just going to try to go to the auth navigator and see if that works. Auth navigator, here it is. So let's see if that works. Okay, so that works. So now let's go one step further. What about the bottom tab navigator initial route? That goes to feed navigator, and the feed navigator goes to the feed screen. So what if I do that? I try to go bottom tab navigator. Bottom tab navigator. Try that out. All right, so that's the feed, right? I assume that's one to the right place.
Yeah.
Okay. So the issue is that, yeah, you want to go to a specific screen.
Yeah. So I
think oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I have that group navigator stashed right under the menu that you have selected. I put group navigator there, and then like groups, invite members to group listing, all that. That's how I kind of wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
But the links there, I couldn't link it. It wouldn't go anywhere.
Let me see if the menu. So we can go to, we've identified, we can go to a sibling screen. We can go to sibling navigator, as long as it uses the initial route for that navigator. What if I try to go to a different navigator inside the navigator? So like, what if I try to go to menu? I think my intuition is that, given what we've seen, that it's not going to work. In which case we would have identified an issue. So if I go to the menu, do you not have the menu navigator in there? Interesting. So we, in terms of navigator, we see group, auth, bottom.
Yeah, group navigator would be an example of what I think should work. But
why is a menu? Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Okay. So
okay.
Yeah. Group navigator as the initial route, group screens. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. So let's try that. Group navigator. Yeah, okay. That doesn't work. So a couple of things. So the first thing is that It is a limitation, but we haven't. It's not really meant to support right now kind of nested navigation like that. Meaning like it doesn't work. It's an issue, so we're gonna fix it. You should be able to do that. I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to bring that up as a bug. So it might be something we can just treat as a bug. There's another thing I want to mention to you is that, and to everybody, we are doing some work right now that should be done over the next week or two to allow you to navigate to any screen, even inside like a navigator. So right now, the way you would typically do it is from a screen, you navigate to a navigator, and then that navigator has an initial route. So you kind of don't really have a choice than to go to that first thing. You know what I mean? It's kind of just one link. We're making it so when you set your, let me go back to design mode. When you set your action here, your navigate action, once you select a navigator, we're popping up another drop down that lets you select the specific screen. And so I'm hoping that we also address what you're trying to do because we're changing a bunch of stuff in the backend for that. That's actually good. That's a big deal because then you can, it's not your use case, but a lot of people, for example, want to be able to have like a logging link on like in a tab navigator on every tag. And so you used to have to duplicate all your auth screen in each tab, which is it's not that annoying because you just add them, you don't recreate them, but it's still not very elegant to have like the duplication of the screen everywhere. So now you can just go back to like an auth navigator and specifically point to your logging screen, for example. So it's a little bit outside of the scope of what you're asking here. But that's going to be a big improvement on navigation, and it's coming up over the next couple of weeks. So as a general statement, everybody watch out for that. We'll communicate around that. As a specific statement to you, Carl, I'll bring that up because that's pretty just a bug that we're going to address. Thanks for mentioning.
Okay.
Did you post anything on community yet or no?
Not yet. No.
Okay. Because you already have all that doc, I would say like if it's not too much work for you to post it there, then we can use that as a point for the discussion.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that nested navigators like that didn't work. That's annoying.
Okay, cool. I'll just make do until that release comes out.
I'm trying to think if there's a thing you can do differently. Yeah, so we tried to go. Yeah, that didn't work. It's gonna be annoying.
And I've taken up, a lot of the time so far, so I'll kind of just pause this and somebody else can get some help. Appreciate it, George.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. I'm gonna mark this one as done answer. Next question is from Danielle. Support for multilingual using JSON variable with data for translation. I should really write some kind of a blog post about that because it's a question we've been getting a couple of times, and it's a very, very good question. So the way we typically answer it is we don't have native multilingual support. It's not integrated in the platform. There are a couple of stuff you can do. And it kind of depends of how deep you need your multilingual support to be, and how hacky are you willing to go. So by that I mean like if you're talking about the UI, like for example, like I guess everybody can still see the car screen. Like if you want to translate like those things like notification, group, and chat, typically those don't come from a data source. Typically those are like static on your page. So what you can do is if I go in design mode, you can always, so here's the text for the notification. You could have a different, like a second text component that is in a different language. And that's what I mean by like, it kind of depends how deep you want it to be. Like if it's only you want to translate to language, that's fine. I assume if you want to do 15 language, it's not going to scale very well. But if you only do a couple, like you could add another text component. And then we have this feature called conditional display here. So you can use a variable to decide if you're going to show or not that component. So your variable could be a language variable. So typically it would be like is English, and it's a Boolean, it's true or false, and you will set that up previously in your onboarding flow, or you do it. We can talk about how you might go about doing that, but essentially you have that variable that is true or false if the language is English or not, and then you'll plug it here. So you'll say is English. If it's true, show me that text component, and then your second text component, you're going to say if it's false, then show me that second text component. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's how you'll do a couple of different languages for static data. Now, if you're talking about the contents, like we saw earlier, like Carl had I'm going to get away from Carl's apps because that's, I'm not sure he's enjoying that. But so if the content needs to be in different languages, that's almost more of a backend thing you're going to have to handle. You're going to have to probably pass the language that you expect the content to be in to your backend. Your backends return the right content, and for that, it can be, that's a different question entirely, but you can have different type of database. So it's not for the content, says Daniel. So that simplifies things. So yeah, I can do it very quickly. So let's say, yeah, I'll create a brand new app just to illustrate internationalization. Right, yeah, here you go. Just do that quickly. Is it internationalization or localization? Always, which one? Localization is the actual execution of a specific locale. Internationalization is just giving the ability to have different locale. So I think I'm mostly right here. It doesn't matter. I'm just playing here. Okay, so let's have two text components. This one is hello. Something like this, but doesn't scale and give a small example. Okay, while you give me, for example, I'm going to illustrate still for everybody else. So you got your hello text and your bonjour text, and I'm going to have a variable that is specific to my user, and I'm calling it is English. For example, I'm going to make it true. Here we go. So this one is going to say hello. This one is going to say bonjour. All right. And now I'm using that conditional display I was talking about to say if it's in English, and if it's in English, show it. And this one, if it's not in English, show it. So here you go, because I've set up my variable to true. I'm only seeing the hello one. But what I can do is a little button and change that variable. I'm the user, for example. I want to go from one language to the other. Oh, can I do toggle? Let's see if toggle might work. So I want to set a global variable, which is English, which is value is English, and transformation is negate. So whatever it is, do the opposite. That's kind of what I meant by toggle. So hopefully now I can go from true to false to true to false to true to false, which should conditionally hide or show my hello and bonjour text. Let's find out. Bonjour, hello, bonjour, hello, bonjour. Hello. So that's kind of the very low level, not super scalable way to handle multilingual. So now Daniel provided some more information. Scenario screen name. I'm reading through the comments, and you guys can read through that as well. In this text, the input text need to get value from translation. Trying to, okay, so scenario, one screen, one form. I'm not sure what you mean by one form. Oh, which is just one text input, I assume. in this text, the input need to get value from translation from a custom function, something like lookup transformation page media variable name current language. The return here is name level in English. If okay, let's try. I'm not trying to understand all of it, but let's give it a try. See how far we can go. So you've got a text input essentially. Oh, by the way, did we fix that? Yeah, okay, this is fixed. Great. And you want to, so you want an initial value to be coming from a custom function. Okay, so okay, so I can run it through custom function. I'm trying to understand as I go. Custom function is going to be translate for whatever. And what it does, if I understand what you're trying to do, is, ooh, by the way, did you guys see how fancy a new code editor look? Look at that. Select all your text. Boom. Comment. Not comment. Comment. Comment out. What else? I think we have some auto completion. Look at that. To completion. Well, this is a bad example. That's just my bad data, but yeah, I'll figure out a better example. But essentially, we have a lot more fanciness in our text editor now. I'll cover that in a different time. Okay, so to your point, let's assume I'm gonna give it local. It's not exactly a local the way we deal with it, but oh, actually, I'm gonna put it as English. That's gonna be my variable. Is English. So hello. No, my JavaScript syntax is all rusty. Okay, hello, otherwise bonjour. How do you say bom dia, right, in Portuguese? So he said bonjour, French too. Oh, no. I think it's bom dia. Hola? Oh, how do you say bon? What's bom dia? Oh, that was bonjour. Anyway, hola. Sure, that works. So it's in English. Hello. Okay, so you can do this, and like obviously you'll use some. You're talking about like maybe doing. Sorry, screen resolution is a little. Sorry, I'll make that bigger. It breaks the layer a little bit, but hopefully it's easier to read. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. Appreciate that reminder. So now I can run it through that translate function, and so because it's English, it says hello. But if I do a button to again do that toggle thing we were just talking about, I go too fast here. And the toggle is going to set the global variable to is English to the same value of is English, but we're going to negate it. I'm just going to just toggle to true and false now. If I do. Oh, I'm wondering if that is not being. Oh no, sorry, because this is just a custom function. It's not. I would have to use. Possible to speak here to explain. I would have to. Let me 1 sec. I would have to use a little bit more code to reach out to get the global variable here that I'm looking at. Actually, sorry, I know I'm getting a little tangent here, but I want to figure it out. So look at a doc. You can look at function. Oh, geez, read me. custom function, right? This is custom function, and I forgot where we have, or maybe it's for global. Maybe it's one sec, global variable. Yeah, okay. So to access in custom component, to access in custom function. So this is what I'm looking for. Custom, you can access it by following. Here it is. So we're going to first export that into our custom component. So what I'm trying to do for those who are just, oh, which one am I doing? I'm going to close this. We don't need that anymore. I'm trying to, oh, did I lose? Oh, here it is. I'm trying to use a global variable inside a custom function. So when you toggle it, I can return the right thing. And then a custom function is used to display text in a text input. And again, Danielle, I appreciate that. I might be going a little bit off track here, but bear with me for just a sec. I kind of want to get to the bottom of this now. Okay, so this is already included, obviously. Now the thing we need to do is this. Oh, here we go. As it is properly documented, so we export this, and then a custom function. A little bit more code than no code at this point, but hopefully people understand the intent. So now I got my variable and I can set them. I don't think I'm going to have to set them, but I can read them, and you read them by just getting whatever token you want to get. So in my case, it's going to be is English. So if it's English, it's hello, otherwise it's hola. Okay. See if that works. That does not seem to be working. What am I doing wrong? So I've been getting custom code, which is imported here. In custom code, maybe I can just use constant, honestly. Yeah. I can just probably just do constant. Let me try to do that very quick. If I do, yeah, just use that's constant. I'm not sure it makes a big difference, but oh, here it is. Now it's hola. Maybe because that constant did not return. All right, let me look at the code again now. Okay, so if my constant, I won't need that variable, by the way. I'm correct. Am I oh, what's the kind of JSON name for JavaScript again? JSConsole.com. Okay, am I correct to think that this is a good one-liner, right? Yellow. I don't know. No, I'm not. Okay. Well, that would be a place to, that would be the right place to start fixing stuff. One-liner. So again, my JavaScript is all, I'm a Python guy, so. Well, it seems to be. It seems to be working. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, let me do that. Is it just the nature of okay, all right. So let me just try this. Okay, so it is right syntax. Too low. The quality of the video is too. I'm sorry that if that's the crowdcast thing, is infinitely not much I can do at the moment, but we are taking that into account because we are debating if this is a good platform for us. So if it's not a good platform for you, it's not great, and it will take that into account when we consider the platform. So, okay, use value is English. Okay, let's try that now. Component, just making sure. Yeah, I got everything here, so it should be fine. Okay. So let's see what's happening. I got my hello if it's English. Okay. I think what might be happening is it's not updating. Oh, where's my text input? Oh, is it not using text input value? That's interesting. So is it not? Where's my test? Huh. That's odd. Yeah. Well, if I don't have that, it should default back to test, okay, which is, I mean, it works. I just don't see it in the code, which is surprising to me. Because it doesn't, am I missing it? Oh, default value. Oh, was I looking at the wrong place? Maybe I was looking. Okay, so default value is test. And then I'm going to run it through my translate. Okay, so now it's using that translate. Starting to make sense. And that's my value is English hello. Okay, that should be working. So it's in English. It might just not update as you change that, which is a different issue, but it is, oh, yeah. All right, something else. Sorry, I went on a tangent a little bit to figure that out. So Daniel, going back to your issue, so yeah, let me try to bring you instead. Just unfortunately, we only have a couple of minutes. So if you're willing, we'll invite you and you can tell us a little bit. But we won't be able to spend too much time on it. I'm sorry, because I want to address some of the other questions that are in there. All right, let us know while we wait for you to join. I'm just gonna take a quick look at the other questions. And full available. Hey Danielle, how you doing?
Fine.
Good, nice to see you. So, welcome to Draftbit. You joined yesterday. That's really cool. I'm happy to have you.
I know your face from the Zano community.
Oh, really? Yeah, I spent a good amount of time there.
I discovered Draftbit from Zano community, so that's why I am here. And
Awesome.
And thank you about your attention and the opportunity of this time. It's amazing what you are doing, guys. And the basic idea is to be able, from the beginning, have a kind of solution, a trick solution, to have a scenario that we can handle a little bit of grow on constructing an application that can run multi-language. So the idea is not to be locked in two language. I will start with two. Basically, will be English and Portuguese. And the idea is to translate only the UI, not the content, because the content the user will choose the UI and will insert the information in their language. Okay?
Got it.
So I am not concerned about the inputs, but the labels, for example, if I have a form with some fields, the label, placeholder, something like that, the idea is to have translated while the user chooses in the interface a radio button or two buttons that he presses English or Portuguese. Okay? And it's something that I tried in another platform and worked well. I I will not say the name of the platform because the objective here is to develop using Draftbit. And the idea is to have a collection in an object that handle all the translations. It's kind of E18N. I don't know if you already use it in another web applications development. So to have, for example, nested the page, the screen, and the name of the labels and the elements, the components.
Yeah.
And have 2 or 3 or 4 other nested lines on translations. It's a JSON object, okay?
Yeah.
And I tried early in the morning today and to see if I could have a custom function that I set the object, the input test. I set a variable, and when I go to variable, I ask to it call a translate function, something like you start to do here. Mm-hmm. But the idea is to be able to send a variable for this function. For example, when you go in other parts of the Draftbit, in actions, you can choose the custom action and assign the value of the parameters of this function, okay?
Right.
But in the place that you are right now, if I go to variables and label, if I choose custom function and the translate custom function, it's impossible to assign a variable for this function. Mm-hmm. So it seems that sorry about my words, I am extremely new in your platform, but it seems that there is places that in Draftbit that I can assign the parameter value for the function and the places not. This is one example. So if I can assign the parameter of this screen and the parameter of the name of the component, mm-hmm. and the current language that I can send through a button updating an app variable saying that it's in Portuguese or in English, this would work because it will return. I have to construct a JavaScript routine function that will take this master collection that will have all the translation and will look in a dot notation method, for example, the value in English for that field. For example, screen is, I don't know the example that I gave here. Media, for example, imagine that I am in the media screen. I am in the component name label X, and I want that this label have the information in English that will get the current language current value. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. So like I said, we don't have a fully built-in internationalization support, so you're gonna have to be a tiny bit creative. But I do actually believe, listening to what you were describing, there is a way to go pretty far with what you need. So here you can see in a text component, like you mentioned, that like you just create a variable, you can transform it, and you're right that in this case we don't let you send a parameter. We're gonna add it at some point. Right now it's just a matter of like time. So we do allow it some places and not others. Eventually we will offer it everywhere. For the time being, you can pass it a parameter, but in that function you can always rely on the global variable that we have set up. So you saw me, if you were looking earlier, like just getting all those variables in my custom function and then do some kind of test. So if the user language is English, show something. If it's not, show something else. So you will have to set that global variable, which here I do is like a toggle button, but you could ask the user during onboarding, like, do you want the language to be English or Portuguese? And so depending on that, you will set that variable. And then one thing that you talked about that I didn't do here is this idea of a master file. So for that, you could use an app variable that is, for example, like, I don't know if I'm calling it text, and you could have it will be a list of, you will essentially put your JSON here. So label, and let's say the first one is going to be English US, and it's going to be hello. The second one is going to be French. That's the one I know. Bonjour. Okay, let's try that. I've not done that before, so we're trying it together. So I'm adding that. Now it's an array. And so in my custom, that's where you will put the equivalent of your JSON file. And then here, instead of having those hard code in my function, could I do something like variable text and then label and then no, how did I call it? Ian, I'll go ahead and update it. I'll make it easier on us. Variables text label fr. I'm gonna go and change my variable quick just to make it, yeah, because right now, here we go. We did that. Okay, that worked. Let's find out. So this one is undefined for now, but so here's my custom function. Text label. Can I do it like this? I'm hoping to do something like this. Find out. Next. Why is maybe, let's see. Read property of undefined. That's important. Did I make a typo in how I wrote it? No, it seems correct. All right, I might have to take a minute after this to figure it out, but essentially that's the direction we should be going. So before I try to address it, like if we make that work with that address we're trying to do, you will have like, you will dump your JSON, the equivalent of your JSON file here, and then say again.
But in this way, correct me if I understand wrong, I would need for each component one function, because I can't send a variable to this object, correct, to this function. So right now, you understand? I think
yeah, you're right. You will need right now. Yeah, you're correct.
Will be a kind of mess. Sorry about the word. Having, for example, if I have 3 screens with 10 components, will be 15 functions. To each function resolve the label, the name.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's what I meant. But it's not ideal yet until we have those couple of things figured out. So it is going to take a little bit of extra work like that for now. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have a better answer than that at the moment. As soon as we add parameters, I can let you know, and that will hopefully unblock you here. But in the meantime, you're gonna have to do multiple custom functions.
No.
Try to think if there's another way you could achieve the same thing. Yeah, no, that's probably.
because this thing, it's the one of the most important things to start doing in the beginning of the app, because after 1 month working and having 5, 6, 10 screens, go back and from the beginning and do everything again. So multi-language is one of the functionalities that have to born with the at the same time that you start to develop the application.
Yeah, trust me, I internationalized the homepage of eBay, so I'm very well aware of the mess it is when you do it after the fact. But I'm thinking of another way. I'm not sure it'll be fully scalable, but just for the sake of completeness, another way you can think of it is if you have in your variable something called like label, and what you do is you have your languages. I'm doing it as I'm thinking about it, so bear with me for a sec. But you will have English, hello, and then French, bonjour. So if I do this, can I then just let me create another text so I don't mess it up. Here in my variable, and then refer to this one, and then my function is about picking the language, but I don't have to. Maybe I'll be clearer when I write it. Give me 1 sec. Translate to. So I don't need a parameter. What I do need is, oh shoot, I'm going to copy the text for this one. I'm going to make my life easier a little bit. This is a very interesting question, by the way. Translate to, and here what I want to do is, if it's English, wait, I do, am I right to think I'm going to get the object at the v-list, so I'm going to get label here. That is part of the transformation. So if I do label, yeah, would that work? Let's find out. All right, let's see if that works. English label, English or French. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I guess not. That's something else that would be. Would that approach be better for you? Again, before we spend time like making sure it works correctly, you know what I mean? Like having each, instead of having your big string, and instead like having one variable per translation, and then using the custom function just to pick English or French, but now using the custom function to pick which label. That way you don't have to pass it a parameter. All you need is that global language variable in the custom function. Does that make sense?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So if you had to enter every translation, like every label here, so label button, label footer, like I don't know, and just do that kind of translation for each one, would that be acceptable, or would that also not scale?
But we're gonna change the places of where we're gonna have a lot of things, for example, or we have too much functions, a lot of functions for each component, or in this way we're gonna have a lot of variables to attend all the things. Let me ask you just something. Go to the function, because there is something that I think I didn't here. Sorry, go in the close this window.
Oh, close. Okay.
Yeah. When you say variables label, this label is going for as a parameter to that function because you write the label there. If you
Yeah.
can open.
Yeah, so you have access to that variable, which I'm not sure it was working properly, so we might have an issue there. But in theory, you should have access to that variable. So like, you can like transform it, but it also means you can access it. So let me try to demonstrate that quick. Oh, actually, it seems to be working now. So here, maybe all I can do is return.
Can I say what I am thinking that maybe works?
Yeah.
Is if we have the label, the name of the component goes there. Please on the close this window. Sorry. Close here. If I have in the input text, maybe I can have the label, not the name, as simple as you write it there. I can have, for example, using dot notation, using the name of the screen, for example, screen 1 or screen blank, the dot label dot something. And then this name in dot notation goes as variable. So if this variable goes to the function, I can have all the nested address as the name of the variable because I can insert more parameters, correct? I use this label that only one parameter can work, can make this work.
Yeah, that's correct.
So then you go to the function, please. So in the where you type or where you set the function, you have translate to in parentheses label, correct? It's getting the label. Yeah. It's getting that label name, correct?
It's getting the variable, yeah. Not so much the name. It could be any name here, but yeah, it's getting the variable.
So if the variable have 2 levels in dot notation, I can make a search. And then if in UI I can push a button updating the application variable of current language, through here I can know which current language is in the actual time. So I can mix and match the address through dot notation with the global variable name, making a JavaScript routine that goes through that big collection of names and translations.
But I think I understand what you mean. The issue with that is you don't have access to a dot notation here. This is just a variable name. Like it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
Which one was it? This one? I forgot. But anyway, hopefully you know what I mean. Like this is not going to do anything.
But if you write bar, for example, the string, the word bar goes to that function.
No, the value goes to that function, not the word itself. In the custom function, I have no idea of what that word is going to be like. And the proof is that, look, I call it bar here, and I receive it as foo here. Like it does, the name changes. The name is not persistent, right? The value is. But that's like just any programming language. You're just passing the value, right? The name of the variable is not.
But where I can set the value there in that screen?
Here, that's why you said the value. Bar has this value, the label. And the label is, I mean, you could put anything in here. You could say hello directly and have like a static value. I've chosen to use a global variable value.
Okay, I can use a static variable. Okay, no need if maybe I don't need the dot notation. I can put in parentheses as a string, for example, with underline, camel case or snake case, all the full name that address this component.
Yeah. You can put whatever name, and it'll be passed to the value. So, I think I'm starting to see. So yeah, here you can put out the equivalent of the path in your JSON,
Exactly.
right? And then in your custom function, you will get the whole like JSON object from the global variable, and then use that path to traverse it, and then use the other global variable for which language to display. Oh, okay, yeah, I think that might work.
Okay, we're gonna deconstruct this path using JavaScript, a custom code, and then get the current language through app variable that it's all the time being updated while the user change the language. Sorry.
Yeah. So let me try it. If you're a sec, I know we're going over time, but this is very interesting. So this would be your entire JSON, and you have a bunch of like labels, button labels, or whatever it is, and then 15 language for each. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's here, and we also have another global variable just for the language itself, which is English in my case. So here, how did I call it? I called it button label. Okay, and in my custom function, let me do let's do this one. That's fine. Here I'm gonna first get so it's gonna be variable dot text, and here I'm gonna use the foo, which is let me remove this. The foo is gonna be button label, so it should go to the right place. And then I want to also use this one to see if it's this whole thing actually. So if it's English, I'm gonna get the English object. All right, is that what you're following, right? That's kind of what you have in mind?
Exactly. I think in this way, working a little bit more and making some adjustments maybe work, yes.
All right, so let me make sure I have the right. So one is hello, one is okay. Oh, I made a typo here. That may button. Okay. I'm gonna copy paste, so I'm sure I'm not making any mistake. Okay. Variable text foo, and then variables is English or French. Okay. So I'm going to save that here. I'm going to make sure I'm typing the right one. Okay. What am I missing? Button label. Oh, I need to now run it through that function, obviously. Ooh, okay. There's one thing that's missing. Oh, that's not working. I'm just looking at the console log quick. So we have an issue, property of undefined. So the first part is going to be undefined, and I don't. Oh, let me get rid of this. Okay, so this part is going to be undefined, and I don't know why. Oh, maybe it's because this string. Yeah, maybe it's because it's written as an object, and so it doesn't work as the path. Let's see. No. What if I just let's break it down till we figure out what's going on. So first of all, that should return the button label thing. Okay, that works. Now we're going to take it one step further and try to return the whole. That might break because I might need to like. It doesn't break, but it doesn't show anything unless I maybe like. What's the comment again? What's the would toString do the job? Maybe not. Let's try it. This is essentially going to be a JSON. So, man, I don't know the thing by heart. What is it? JSON stringify? No. Oh, because I typed it wrong. Stringify. Okay. It didn't return anything. That's odd. I mean, it didn't break, so maybe it's because it didn't find anything here entirely. String foo. What if I do? Oh, it's undefined. Why is that undefined? Why would that be undefined? Am I using JSON stringify the right way? All right, and then I'm gonna have to stop because I think we're going way over. But okay, so I'm using it the right way. I don't know. Yeah, so I think I'm using it the right way. Oh, but maybe do I need to parse it first? And then I can, oh yeah, I might just be getting a text value here. All right, I'll try that and then I'll have to figure out how to stop. JavaScript, what's the JSON parse syntax? Okay, easy enough. So variable text. No. Okay. I'm gonna need a little bit more time to figure this out, but I think it's an interesting direction. If we can make that work, that will.
Okay, I will take my time here, and I will try working on this. And on your side, if you have some news later on, because I know that there is other people here that maybe want to ask something.
Yeah. I'll follow up with that if we figure out a way to make this work. But I like the direction; it's very interesting. All right, thanks for bringing it up, Danielle. That's very, very helpful to us. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Okay, we're way over time. I might still take one quick question. So Derek mentioned a package, which is actually something I'm pretty sure I mentioned to Yeth. You can always kind of rely on a custom import for a different package that might be slightly more robust way to do it. I was kind of going with the no-code approach, which ended up being the LibreForCode. So I'll take a look at that too. It might be interesting. All right, last question. How would you cache data locally on device? There are device variables, but no way to create any data structure beyond a handful of variables like nested variable. So yes, just to remind everybody, app variable are gonna be like kind of think of it as like environment variable in your app. So every time you reload the app, they're gonna reset. They're gonna get back to this default value. Device variable are going to be stored in the async equivalent of like local storage. So they're going to follow your user around. If they close the app, they reopen it, they'll still see that variable. To Jay's point, though, there is no way to create a data structure. I'm maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, but you can, as we just showed it here, you can have an array, you can have a JSON array, so you can have a pretty extensive like data structure here. We do numbers, we do obviously string, we do what else? I think we had a bug with indefine for a while, so we might not be supporting the indefine, but what else? We do array. 1, 2, 3. We do list. Sorry, dictionaries. We do. But yeah, we do a bunch of stuff. The main kind of more advanced use case that you can just put JSON essentially, and so hopefully that lets you do pretty advanced stuff. Can those be variable within the array? Can those be variable? So you want like one of those things to be a variable? So the answer for that is no, meaning you can't do it right now. I'm not sure. Typically your JSON is, I can't think of why you want a variable in your JSON, but if you have maybe a specific use case, I can take a look at it. But no, those are just going to be data. You can't have variable in them. Or maybe what you meant is like if you want to use a double curly bracket and have like a variable. No, we don't support that. Nor do I think we will support that. Yeah, I would have to understand the use case a little bit more for that. Because I don't think that's when you define those, they're variable, right? When you define them, I don't think that's at the time you want to make them like dynamic. You might want to do that later on with the custom function like we did with Danielle. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. If you have a specific use case, we won't have time now because I guess we're way past time, but post in community and we'll take a look. All right, folks, we are way past our time. I appreciate everybody going a little over with me. I think Danielle asked a very good question that we're going to look into. So yeah, thank you very much, and have a good rest of your day. See you guys.